and welcome to Facts Schmacts This or That. It's a new little spin on our podcast where we can do more podcasts with less research. So that's always a win. I'm your host, Kev, and I got some questions to ask my friend Matt here.
You know what I've just realized, Kevin? A new series means a new intro, and a new intro means the return of my favorite bit where I grade our intros every time.
Yeah, it is. What do you think of that one?
Oh, buddy, we need to tighten that up. We need to make it a little more snappy.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right. Let's see.
Other than that, we're good
now.
Okay.
So the premise of this show is I'm going to propose a this or that question to...
Yes!
No, come on. You're always in my heart. You know that. But I've already asked somebody, and you're already married. So I'm going to ask my friend Matt here 2 topics. It's going to kind of kick off a little conversation. Doesn't mean we're going to talk about it the whole time. So, maybe we do, maybe we don't. You'll just have to listen to the whole episode. Please. We need it. Okay, Matt, this or that.
All right.
Nuclear war.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or creepypasta. I have a question for... I have a question for each one.
Okay.
So whichever one you pick, I have a question to ask you to kind of kick it off.
1,000% going creepypasta. I love creepypasta.
Thank God. Because I need to ask you, what the fuck is creepypasta?
It's just scary.
And why is it called creepypasta?
It's copy-paste is what it came from. But so I think when you copied and pasted something, it used to be like a copy pasta. That became a thing. But then when people started sharing these like homemade horror stories, it became creepypasta. Like the kind of, I think that's roughly the evolution of the etymology. But I might be totally wrong on that. Scary stories on the internet.
Do you have any examples?
Oh,
like, buddy. Is there any famous, like Slender Man? Is that creepypasta?
Yep, Slender Man was creepypasta for sure.
Okay.
Yep, it started as creepypasta, and so there was a couple of web series that kind of kicked off the Slender Man thing. One of them was called, the first one, Marble Hornets was the first one. I haven't watched that one, but there's a second one called Everyman Hybrid that I have watched, and it was quite good.
What's that?
So it's just about Slender Man. It's
okay.
Everyman Hybrid is great. It starts off as this, like, it's supposed to be these young men doing a little fitness blog or fitness channel, and it just kind of gets more and more. You kind of have to watch it, but they do a really great job.
So is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared creepypasta? Which we're gonna link. I'll try to link all these videos.
So that, like, when I think of traditional creepypasta, I tend to think of things like SCP. Are you familiar with SCP?
No.
Secure, Contain, Protect is what it stands for. And it's just these kind of homemade stories. Every SCP is like an entry about some organism that's, trapped in some government warehouse somewhere. And it'll be like, entry number, blah, blah, blah. And it's, yeah. It'll describe what their horrible crime is. The Russian Sleep Experiment, that's a classic creepypasta.
What's that?
That was a story about these the sleep deprivation experiment that happened in Russia, supposedly, with all of the participants going like totally insane and like, eating their own flesh. And it's I haven't read it in so long, so I can't really do justice to where it goes. I just kind of know.
Where do you find this?
I love this stuff. Like I loved horror movies, and I loved Stephen King, and I particularly loved his little King. Yeah, I loved his little anthology books, a million tiny little stories. Some were good, some were bad, but like Night Shift.
Yeah. The book Night Shift, it's got like, I think that's the one that has like Stand By Me. And
does that one have the one about the Cadillac where he buries the guy alive in his Cadillac? Or is that is that Four Seasons?
I have a bunch of books that I need to put on shelves.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I have that, and that is like a classic. I have this really cool copy of The Stand.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you about it. I found it at this antique bookstore, and it's like this unabridged, kind of not unedited, but like the full version of The Stand with extra stuff in it. And it's like this, like one of those like nice fabric bound books, and like it's huge.
Yeah.
It was that was probably my favorite Stephen King story. Well, not necessarily. It's his most epic, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, the creepypasta, I think the more modern example of the creepypasta is like the ARG, or what you'd call unfiction, which is like a story that'll play out on social media, and the people who are following it are kind of like, they know that it's a bit. It's like a puzzle that the creators are setting up. Sometimes they can be very complicated. There's stuff like, I don't know if you remember the plague doctor thing. There was that video with this plague doctor and all these codes that was going around the internet, and people thought he was like end of the world or something. And it just turned out it was some, art school project. But it was a really cool one. Yeah. But people will make fun games. And, Everyman Hybrid, like I was talking about before, the Slenderman one, one of the parts of it was that there was an antagonist who had a Twitter account, and the protagonist had Twitter accounts, and, there would be secret videos that would pop up that the people on the protagonist on the Twitter account would apparently just not be able to see. If anyone asked about it, they'd be like, well, we don't see it there. People keep telling us there, but we're not sure. And it was all this meta stuff. Like, it was really well done. It was, but it's like teenagers making this, or people in college.
Oh, really?
They spent, I think, 8 years doing this. Something like that. 7 or 8 years.
That is a commitment.
Huge commitment. So you kind of got to watch them grow up, too. I only watched it at the end. There's a very famous one about someone who finds a video game, a copy of Ocarina of Time that supposedly belonged to this kid named Ben who had drowned. It's called Ben Drowned, but basically the copy of Ocarina of Time is haunted. They use a lot of the assets from the game to kind of like build this haunted narrative. It's really in depth. Like it's not just a story. It's like video footage of the game, like twitching out, being weird, being creepy. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. I fucking love that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because I've heard you mention it, and I feel like I heard you mention it in one of our episodes, or maybe before or after one of our episodes recently. And I was like, I kind of had a rough idea what it was, but like not exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's a community-driven, scary content, essentially. Okay. There's a couple big projects that are going on right now that I think are absolutely freaking phenomenal. One of them is called, shit. Trying to remember the name of it. Gemini Home Entertainment. That's it. And it's sort of like this analog horror thing where everything's presented like it's on VHS tapes. It's creepy. There's a whole series to watch. It's this whole story. There's a lot of these that kind of play out over YouTube. Some of them, you can be very involved in some of them. Some of them have ciphers and puzzles that, you can get involved in solving, or you can just kind of sit back and watch the community do it. Or there's other channels that specialize in kind of breaking this stuff down and presenting it in a really engaging way. There's a channel called Nightmind, which is kind of primarily where I get some of this stuff from. And really what he does is he just kind of breaks the stuff down. He always encourages you to go and watch, the original video, but then he's going to kind of talk about it. He does a very good job of it. So he highlights really cool projects. So if you find him, or if you follow him, you'll get exposed to a lot of this stuff.
I'll get you to send that to me, and I'll link it too in the show notes if anybody wants to check it out.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, other than Slenderman, if there'd be any specific creepypasta that would be
mainstream.
Yeah, that's mainstream enough for.
So is it kind of like shitty creepypasta? Some of those posts like, man finds a door in his basement. You'll never guess what happened. Like, that's clickbait.
Yeah, no. Real.
But is that like where they're
no.
trying to do creepypasta, or
I think you're talking about bad 2-sentence horror, which is there's a Twitter account for it, and I think there's a Reddit. It's a Reddit forum.
I think I've seen that. No, this is
and it's all like
just clickbait titles.
Oh no, it's not generally. I don't think a lot of it's like that.
Okay.
The monument mythos. That's another one that's going on right now. That's really cool. It kind of presents American monuments as being like home to unspeakable terrors, and it's just got it's got a nice little bit of lore. They all take place in universes that are kind of enough like ours, but kind of adjacent to ours, where where things happen.
I'm gonna have to check some of this out, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I love this stuff. There's so much good stuff out there, and that's I think where some of the best horror is happening right now.
Like, is some of it actually scary?
Yeah, scary enough.
Like,
I mean,
is it just kind of supposed to be funny?
I think that there's an element of realness to it, and amateurness to it that kind of makes it more real.
Like Blair Witch kind of thing.
I was just gonna say, yeah, sort of like there is, I think Blair Witch influenced a lot of these people, right?
Yeah, man, that was huge when it came out.
Yeah, like, do you remember that whole?
That was legit.
Yeah, that whole campaign to kind of make it seem like it was legit. The actors, I think, had to go into hiding, and
isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. It's great that they did it. I like when people have a little bit of fun with the world.
Yeah, and then that gave birth to like all those movies that turned out like that, like Cloverfield, where everything was supposed to be like someone shooting on a phone or a handy cam or something.
Yeah. That was a whole movie that was a little tough to watch.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that movie where it's like an over the top action movie, but it's like in a first person perspective?
No.
Do you remember that? I didn't watch it either, but
Hardcore Henry.
Yeah.
I can't believe the shit that I remember.
That's crazy. I never watched that, but I was like, I get it. I get what they're going for. It's fun. It's different.
It's fun. It's different. I don't think it's like a new genre, but maybe I'm wrong. I first person stuff in movies always feels awkward to me. They did that in like the Doom movie. Tried to have a first person sequence, which is weird. Just doesn't.
Yeah, I'd say they never really pull it off. Everything feels very wooden when they do that.
Yeah, because your eyes dart around, right?
Yeah,
in a way that cameras.
The camera can never capture.
You want to learn? You want to know something really funny about your eyes darting around?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the stopped clock illusion?
No.
But I guarantee you've experienced the stopped clock illusion.
Yeah, it's like every day at work.
When you first look at the clock, if it's got a second hand, it seems like that first second takes longer to tick off than every other second. Does that check out for you? You ever notice that?
No, but now I'm going to be looking for it.
Look for it. It's actually pretty, and it really works, especially if you just kind of dart your eyes from away from the clock to the clock. And there's a reason that it happens, because when you're looking from place to place really quickly, your eyes are just like sending a bunch of garbage information to your brain that it can't really decode fast enough because you're not stopping and focusing on everything. And so rather than have your memory be taken up by that, what'll happen is whatever your eyes settle on, your brain will rewrite that backwards into your memory to account for the time that you were darting your eyes around.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
It is really weird, right?
Yeah.
So next time you've got you're near a clock with a seconds hand, just dart your eyes to it, and you'll notice that first second takes just slightly longer to tick off than the rest of them.
And it'll only take a second to verify.
There you go.
Slightly longer.
That's right, slightly longer than a second to verify. Called the stopped clock illusion. There's a great Vsauce video about that if you are into Vsauce.
Let's link it.
Hey, Vsauce.
I'll check it out.
Michael here. I went and saw his show he did with Adam Savage.
I've never seen these guys.
You know who Adam Savage is from Mythbusters?
I know, yeah, from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
I don't know who Vsauce is.
Vsauce does like just kind of internet pop science videos. And so they went around and they did this show called Brain Candy. They actually got permission from the kids in the hall to use the name.
Oh, there's new Kids in the Hall out.
Yes, it looks pretty good. I'm kind of optimistic.
You're a big fan.
Huge
Kids in the Hall fan.
Huge Kids in the Hall fan. Yeah.
I've never been a sketch comedy guy.
Yeah, I love sketch comedy.
Yeah?
I love me some sketch comedy.
I don't know. Like SNL, people be like, watch this funny SNL skit. And I'm just like, it's all right. Well, that one part was funny. But otherwise, I'm just kind of, I don't know. It's lost on me.
Yeah. Well, I've often said that you're a humorless man.
You've never said that.
No, I haven't. Only good things. Only good things.
Well, that's fun. So creepypasta, huh?
Yeah, it's just scary things. I don't get to watch scary movies because my wife's not into them, and we only really watch like stuff together because that's just kind of a lot of the time.
So much time in a day,
right? And so if we are going to spend, if you are going to sit down and watch something for 2 hours, it might as well be something the other person's interested in too.
Yeah.
So,
that's your little outlet now.
That's my little outlet for creepy things. Just a little creepypasta.
Well, there you go. That's Facts Schmacts This or That. Just a quick little chat.
Quick little chat
about this or that.
There we go. That's snappy. Thank you for listening to Facts Schmacts.
We hope you enjoyed our show. If you want to hear more, be sure to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Facts Schmacts.
Or you can check us out on Facebook or on YouTube or on twitter.com @FactSchmactPod.
We also have a website, factschmacts.xyz, because we know you haven't had enough yet.
Sure.